Every heart beats true of the red, white, and blue. There is never a postcode brand. All acquaintance keep forgotten. Keep your eye on the grand old flag. A little louder now. You're a grand old flag. You're a high flying flag. And wherever peace makes you wave, you're the emblem of the land I love. The home of the free and brave. Every heart beats true of the red, white, and blue. And there's never a postal rag. Old acquaintance be forgotten. Keep your eye on the grand old flag. Yeah, keep your eye on that grand old flag. It's interesting. We broke free of Great Britain. Now, Great Britain has an anthem, and recently it's been changed. It used to say, God save the Queen. Now it says God save the King.
Yeah.
And ironically, there was a somebody. Do I have a name? Nope. Yeah, Samuel Francis Smith in 1831 decided to write a song about America and use the British anthem as the tune. I've always thought it was interesting when you go to the Olympics and the Brits win and they're playing America on the podium. I said, thank you, Britain.
Yeah.
But we stole it from them. So, my country 'tis of thee. My country 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrims fight, from every mountainside, let freedom ring. Our fathers God to be, author of liberty, to thee we sing. Long may our land be bright with freedom's holy light. Protect us by thy right, great God our King. Great God our King. Now, thank you. Americans have always had a great sense of humor. Back in pre-revolutionary days, we had a militia. Now you have to remember, at that time, the British Army was the best disciplined, best dressed, best fighting force in the world. And they were over here, and they would watch our militia out in the field practicing. And they said, you know, that's where they coined the term Yankees. They said, you Yankees, they're silly. And they wrote a song. And guess what? We sang along with them, and we sing it today. Yankee Doodle, let me start again, wrong key. Yankee Doodle went to town, riding on a pony, stuck a feather in his hat and called it macaroni. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy, mind the music and the step, and let the girls be handy. Father and I went down to camp along with Captain Goody. There we saw the men and boys as thick as hasty pudding. Yankee Doodle, keep it up, Yankee Doodle dandy, mind the music and the step, and let the girls be handy. There was an interesting event, and I learned a little more about it recently. The abolitionist John Brown led a raid on the federal arsenal at Harper's Ferry on December 2nd, 1859. The U.S. Army sent our troops in, ours being the United States at the time, and they put down the rebellion. John Brown was captured. He went on to trial, was found guilty, and he was hanged. And there was a song that came out, John Brown's body lies a mouldering in the grave. Now, I've recently, in my research for the Declaration of Independence, discovered that John Brown had written a declaration of abolition, and he had never delivered it. This was found amongst his papers afterward. And it very interestingly parallels the first paragraph of the Declaration of Independence, where all men are created equal. Well, that song became extremely popular, but there was a woman, Julia Ward Howe, had a friend, said that was a neat tune, but it needs some different lyrics. So Julia Ward Howe wrote a song that became somewhat of the anthem of the Union and the Union soldiers during the war between the states, the Civil War. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath flow. He has loosed the faithful lightning of his terrible swift soul. His truth is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. He has sounded forth the trumpet that shall never come retreat. He is sending out the hearts of men before his judgment seat. Oh, be set my soul to answer him, be true in my feet. Our God is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. In the beauty of the lilies, Christ was born across the sea, with a glory in his bosom that transfigures you and me. As he died to make men holy, let us live to make men free. For God is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. It's interesting sometimes looking back at how songs magically appear at the time when they're needed. Well, this next song was actually written by Irving Berlin in 1918 when he was serving in the U.S. Army up in New York State. But the song never caught on and never really went anywhere at the time. But in 1938, Hitler was growing in power in Germany, and Berlin, who was born a Jew and immigrated to the U.S. from Europe, revised the song, and it actually took off. It was first sung publicly by Kate Smith. It became her signature song. She sang it on the radio. It She first sang it on Armistice Day. And what do we call Armistice Day today?
Veterans Day.
Veterans Day, that's right. So, another interesting thing, Berlin made royalties off of this song, but he donated all of the royalties that he made off this song to the Boy Scouts of America and the Girl Scouts of America. So, God bless America. And man I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home. Amen. That song was on the radio all the time. And there was one individual, an itinerant songwriter, singer, named Woody Guthrie. He got tired of hearing that. He thought it sent the wrong message. So he wrote a song that became a big hit during the 60s. And ever since, everybody learns this song. And this was his response to Kate Smith, Irving Berlin, and God Bless America. This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As I was walking that river highway, I saw above me that in the skyway, I saw the lowly, that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. I roamed and rambled, and I followed my footsteps, those darkened sands of maritime and desert. And all around me, a voice was sounding, saying, this land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. When the sun came shining and I was strolling, and the wheat fields waving and the stars rolling, and the thought was lifting, a voice was chanting, singing, this land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. This land was made for you and me. Who is it made for? This land was made for you and me. It's really fascinating when you discover the background of certain people. There's a woman named Catherine Lee Bates. She was a professor of American literature at Wellesley College. And this was back in the 1890s. And she got an invitation to teach at Colorado Springs. So she took a train between Wellesley College in Boston, or near Boston, in Colorado Springs, and she was inspired to write a poem of the beautiful landscape, beautiful country that she saw. Years later, a church organist and choir master named Samuel A. Ward, he had written a song for his mother, "O Mother, Dear Jerusalem," back in 1882. Her trip was in 1895, so the tune predated the poem. In 1910, his music was put together with her poem, and we have the song that we today call "Oh Beautiful America the Beautiful." Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, forever waves of gray, on purple mountains, majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for patriots and seas beyond the years, thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea. Yes, sea to shining sea. Okay, we're going to jump into an audience participation part of this little program today. But before I do that, I would like to express my appreciation to worship band members that joined us. Marilyn over here on the piano. And Mike back here on percussion. And rejoining us after a considerable absence, our good friends David and Laura. So, appreciate you all being here, backing me up. Now, cost of freedom is not free. And we have dedicated individuals from the very onset of this country that have stepped up and done what's necessary to give us the freedoms we have today. And I'm talking about the members of our armed forces. And I'm going to do a medley of 5 songs. No, the Space Force does not have a song yet. And when it does,
And
I'll
John
probably
refuses
have
to
learn.
bind it. He refuses.
She wants me to write it.
it. Don't you think he should write it?
Okay. I know that we have a lot of veterans in this congregation. Can I see a show of hands? Veterans? Anyone who has served? Yeah. All right. And the spouses of veterans. How about you? Because when the veterans are off doing their duty, it's the wives who are also serving.
Or the husband.
Staying home. Well, nowadays, yes. Well, actually, I have to really include, because my mother and father were both in the Navy, and they're both veterans. They met in the Navy, and I don't know if I can say this in church, but I was conceived in the Navy. So I'm kind of a Navy brat. However, when it came my turn to serve, I went to the Air Force. Excuse me, my throat gets a little dry sometimes. We're going to do these songs, and when your service comes, you or your your spouse, please stand up so we can recognize you. Let me get that. We're going to start with the Army. How many soldiers? Over hill, as we dig the dusty trail, and with nations rolling along. In and out, in and shout, and we're marching further out, as the nations go rolling along. And it's far by me, and the artillery, shout out your numbers loud and strong. Wherever you go, you will always know that the nations go rolling along. And the Navy. Anchors aweigh, anchors aweigh. Farewell to college or facing at break of day. Our last night ashore, ring till the fall, until we meet once more. It's wishing a happy return. Happy Marines, go Buckeyes, all we do. The halls of Martha's Vineyard, the shores of Tripoli, revive our country's flag in the air, on land and sea. First to fight for life and freedom, and to keep our honor clean. We are proud to claim the title of United States Marines. And the Coast Guard. Well, okay, we'll sing for you anyway. Marching song, we sing and coarsely through service, storm and howling. I shall our purpose be. Senator Robinson's our God, our fame, our glory too. To fight was our fight and on Michael's star we are for you. And the Air Force. All right. Off we go in the wild blue yonder, flying high in the sun. Here they come, coming near our thunder, and the boys give it a gun. Now we rise, shout our praise from under, off with one hell of a roll. We live in fame, go down in flames, and country shout the USA roll. All right. Thank you one and all for your service. Whew. All right. This last song I'm going to do is a lot more modern than any of the others that we've sung, but it's really emblematic of patriotism as we know it today. The song was inspired by an event that was probably not well known and certainly not well remembered. But on September 1st, 1983, Korean Airlines Flight 007 was en route from New York City to Seoul, Korea, by way of Anchorage, Alaska. As it was approaching Korea, it was shot down by a Russian interceptor, an Su-15, and all 269 aboard were killed. That event really touched Lee Greenwood. He wrote the song God Bless the USA. He wrote the song in he wrote the song in '83, and it appeared on his 1984 album, You've Got a Good Love Coming. But as I said, didn't gain a whole lot of notoriety back then. However, when the Gulf War rolled around in 1990 and 1991, he wrote it as a way to honor the soldiers that we were sending over there and as an inspiration to them. And it's interesting because he did a live concert at Disney. Was it Epcot? No. Magic Kingdom. Yeah, at the Magic Kingdom. And Claire and I went. And this concert was being broadcast live back to Saudi Arabia. And in deference to the religion there, the Muslims, women who had bare shoulders were not allowed to come to the front of the crowd. So anything that we sent out would not be insulting to our Muslim allies over there in Saudi Arabia. However, my wife is duly modest, had her shoulders and half her arms covered, so we were brought right up to the front. We got to see this firsthand. Big event. The song was revived again in 2003 on the American invasion of Iraq. It's a song that I'm sure you all know. If tomorrow all the things were gone I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. I won't forget the men who died and gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas and from the sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. I won't forget the men who died and gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and there still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died and gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and there still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Thank you very much, and that concludes our little program. Hope you had a good time.